Religion is indeed utilized as a monkey trap for those who desire more power, those who are possessed with the disease of desire, ambition, and its nature of brutality, who have believed the deceptive cultural poison of prophecy, and intense greed for power, to control the destiny of others. The deception has only meant that those who feel the need to enforce it subtly lack the intelligence and wisdom to deal with others in a manner of decency and therefore legitimacy. Religion is used because they understand that the task is beyond their own intellectual ability. The God is the shiny and attractive promise of heaven and being liberated of your weaknesses and into a state of ultimate power as a God who is a ruler over the people, including their lives and the call for their deaths. The trap is the idea that someone other than yourself will be able to provide you with this power, never realizing that to depend upon anyone else to give you something of assertive power only reveals your own unwise decision of placing down what power you possess, and thus being made to think through a belief system that someone else possesses a more sufficient power, and if you submit to them as your ultimate authority as the possessors of that power, then they will give you ultimate power and authority over your own living, as you will be able to use this to rule over others, including those who present you with this asserted power to rule. This has always been the case of religion inside of the African people as also the so-called Indians. It is not logical to be made to think that a stranger to your land, your life, has come to give you ultimate power of the entire world, while they themselves have the intention in conquering the earth by way of bloodshed, deception, rape and warfare. No one who enters your land with weapons in their hands should be able to convince you that they have come in peace simply because they have a so-called holy book about their hands. You must know that many come with a smile and humility only to disarm you internally first, for to disarm you externally only for your destruction. The illusion of immortality is granted because you have been insidiously exposed as being a human being who is unsatisfied, and therefore have a dangerous and immense flaw of needing security, in only revealing a state of being insecure, vulnerable, and in search of an authority outside of yourself or to give you a stability of contentment. This produces a yearning for more power and more control because of the greed factor being purposely cultivated inside based upon a state of being of never having enough power at your personal disposal. Greed is an entity that has not a border of satisfaction imbued within its activating entity. It was created without a surface core of which it will end in a state of satisfaction. Its nature is to always want more, otherwise it would not be greed, as the nature of greed is being greedy. Greedy implies a continuous state of desire and lust for the objective of the need for being complacent. For a human being to feel as though they are one who is never satisfied with the power they possess only reveals a human being who has truly no power, because they are forever yearning for power. And therefore, they are within an ongoing state of suffering. And so they are always suffering in wanting more and more. Because of the past sense of dissatisfaction, one is feared to not possess real power. At some time, their power was taken away from them, with a false promise of gaining more power in which will surpass the power they presently possess from their own self-ordained prophecies regarding their culture and personal objectives, which in most cases, self-centered in self-gratification. Without realizing this dilemma, their own culture is made as an insignificant and unreliable device for evolution, because even unto them, it is but an idea for to accomplish which will in fact benefit only themselves, while others are expected to marvel of them and in time, worship them. This becomes a trap, and the revealing factor of which they are to be soon destined to destroy themselves because of their insecurities. It is only a matter of time of when the deception is realized, for the sake of exposure, but only after so much has been lost of others who were manipulated to rely upon them, with the promise that they too will dwell within that heaven in which they only formulated for themselves. The deception is made realized in the results of believing that this profound power and authority over the entire world has totally caused a massive destruction of your own world, in its effects upon your mind and spirit. The death of friendships, family relationships, and others areas of your life have been shattered into oblivion because of an empty and synthetic system of religious-based belief. In becoming aware of these results, naturally provokes vital questions to be asked because of the promise of liberation. The promises of power and authority in paradise is in opposition to what is seen and felt. The paradise promised is non-existent within the power of someone else outside of yourself and your fundamental love for your living experience. The doctrine has not given the host any peace of mind, but only fear, insanity, dismay, betrayal and lies. In coming to know such a state, as a place in which is not a benefactor for living in peace, the wisdom of the observer makes the only and wisest decision, and that is to let go of what seemed to be beautiful, beneficial, and prosperous reality after it has been shown as only a device for self-destruction. Written by David Anthony Brayboy.